Hey there all, I wanted you to know that today's video topic was brought to you by Lockly, www.lockly.com. By the way, you can save 20% on the website if you use the code RETROROB20, that's RETROROB 20. I've got links to them both on Amazon and Home Depot, and of course their website down below in the description. Speaking of the description, this is a big video with lots of content in it. If you want to skip around, there's a table of contents down there as well that'll help you find anything you're looking for. All right, let's get started. Hey there all, it's not always just fun and games here on Retro Rob Plays Everything. No, sometimes it's fun and hardware. And today I'm going to show you this guy right here. It's the Lockly Vision. It was sent to me for review because why the heck not? I mean, he reviews video games, he can do a lock, right? But I actually know a little bit about these because I happen to own smart locks in my house. And this has a number of features that my current lock does not have. And I am hoping this is definitely going to fill the gap. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, this thing's got so many stinking features, I don't even know where to start. So I think we're going to start with the front of the box. Vision Smart Lock and Video Doorbell. This is the Deadbolt edition. There's no handle. They do come, you can come with them as like a regular door handle. I have a separate deadbolt and my hand's like right in the middle of there. Real nice. Anyway, it does have a 3D fingerprint reader, and why it says 3D fingerprint reader is that most early fingerprint readers could be defeated by printing off your fingerprint. Like really, seriously, you could just print a picture of it. So 3D fingerprint readers are a little bit harder to fool that way, or a lot harder, I guess. Control and monitor from anywhere. Yes, this does connect up to the cloud. So of course there's always those cloud concerns, but that's pretty common now, and I think that the feature benefit probably outweighs the security risk. This model does work both with Alexa and Google Assistant, and it is right and left swinging, and I think that's fairly common for these kinds of things. Here's the back of the box, and now we're going to get into more and more features, so let's take a look. Live HD video camera, we're going to test that later. Internal TOF, I like that it has internal storage as well. Two-way audio, hey, what are you doing here? And they go, and run away. We've seen it in commercials. Pin Genie, touchscreen keypad. We'll talk a little bit about that later. That's actually a big deal. I don't have that on my current ones. The idea of the screen is actually better security, or the way the buttons are laid out, but I'll go into that later. There is an iOS and Android mobile app. We'll be connecting it to the iOS one. Offline access codes, those are really useful if you have, say, actually at our house we had this problem. We would have people doing construction on the house and we wanted to let them in, but we didn't want to give them our code, so we would give them a loaner code, and then we could just block that code after they're done working on the house. Pretty useful, actually. Tamper notification, if somebody tries to mess with it, supposedly you'll be able to find out. Unlock and lock from anywhere, so let somebody in without a door code remotely. That's nice. Real-time door access info, that is actually really useful too, to find out when people are coming and going. Especially great for small businesses, but at home it might be something too. If you've got somebody coming in every day when you're gone, hey, you might have a hobo living with you and you don't know it. Wouldn't that be horrible? I also like to say hobo. Great word. All right, one touch and auto lock features. Auto lock, so I opened up my door, closed it, doesn't lock back up. That feature is lacking on my current one. It doesn't work quite right, but my old ones had that, and that was pretty cool because then I didn't have to remember to lock the door. Does work with Google Voice Assist, and of course our all-time number one, she who cannot be mentioned right here, but owned by Amazon. She'll start talking if I mention her. Anyway, advanced 3D fingerprint reader, covered that earlier. Doorbell with unlocking. Yeah, there's a little doorbell on there. Aw, man, that's interesting. Anyway, unlock with a physical key. So yes, you can just unlock it with a good old-fashioned key, and you can see that right there. I've mostly covered the stuff that's mentioned in here, but feel free to freeze the screen if you are interested in seeing all those. I'm recording in high def, so you should be able to see them. Note also that there is a 2 to 5 year warranty. We'll have to look into what that means. Editor Rob here. What that means is that Lockley has a limited 5-year mechanical and finish warranty, 2-year electronics warranty, but lifetime technical support. I read it off their website. All right, what's inside the box? Vision smart lock, bolt assembly, screws, strike plate and housing. I can't speak. Back plate, physical keys. There's 2 of them. That's nice. Look at that. Alkaline batteries. The Vision Connect hub. The door sensor. So everything's in here. LAN cable, if you'd like to just hook it up directly. Quick start guide, installation manual, and user manual. I'm guessing the LAN cable is probably for the hub that comes with it. Pretty nice. And here's the specification page where you can learn things like the fact that it's got an HD 20 camera. There you go, and it has the ability to privately store video, which I've already mentioned. Most of these things are already mentioned or just being elucidated better here. Feel free to freeze this if you want to learn more about that. Well, give that an A for presentation. There's the Lockley promise. Over the years, we've earned a reputation for our unparalleled customer service and support. At Lockley, we stand behind our products and promise. If you are at all not satisfied with your Lockley, please contact us at help@lockley.com so we can make things right. Lockley. Alrighty, manual-wise, we have the start here. Installation guide for the deadbolt, a user manual. This looks like an FAQ. There we go. And there we go with a little door hanger. That's kind of cool. Oop, we'll cover that up. Also included was this product ID card. I'm going to cover that up while I open. Ooh, and here's some stuff. Let's take a look. If we get lucky, this stuff's marked. Nope. Oh, I believe this is the receiver unit. Okay, got that. Got the lock itself. We'll take a look at that shortly. I'm gonna assume there's some hardware in here, and there is. Okay. Screws, screws, cables, etc. We'll get to that when we're hooking the thing up. And this is the front side of the lock. We'll take a closer look at those in a moment. And all the batteries and plugs, etc. Alright, here's what folks will see as they come up to your door, yourself included. You got the doorbell here, you've got the reader on the side, and you've got this little flip cover for the lock. Looks very impressive. We'll of course take another look at it when we get this thing hooked up. It's very heavy. Back, not nearly as heavy, quite a bit lighter. This is still, it's either a very decent simulation of metal or it's metal. This is plastic. Of course this top part's plastic. What, this might be metal too. It might just be lighter than the front of it. This is what would be on the back of your door. And I believe the batteries and such, yep, would go right in there. And we'll get back to this as well. I think what I'm going to do next is maybe, I don't know, read the manual. And then we will start installing.
Warning: radiation at unsafe levels.
Alright folks, for this project I'm going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, probably not this big, I've got another one down here, and of course a tape measure, even if you are not cutting your own hole for the lock. By the way, if you are, they include this template, which is nice. Alright, so the first part is I'm going to stick this guy in here, and then turn the bolt out, so this is vertical. Alright, so I want to demonstrate this. With the door shut, this should absolutely be a free and easy movement. See that? If not, you need to work on it. Here's the front of my door. Here's the wire that's coming out of here. Be very careful. You should remove this. Make sure this is vertical. Line it up, make sure everything's okay before, and I do mean before, you peel off this tape located right here. So it looks pretty good. I'm gonna go with it. There we go. And I'm gonna try a different angle here just to show you. Sorry about the road noise. All right. There we go. And again, sorry you can't really see everything, but there we go. Everything should just line right up and look good. And it looks pretty darn good to me. Let's back up a second. Right there. Looking beautiful. All right, so I've hand tightened these. Yeah, stay there, buddy. And I will tighten them all the way once I've confirmed that everything looks straight on both sides of the door. But it looks like it's pretty straight right now. And just use a screwdriver. You probably should not use a power tool to do this part, because I'm pretty sure you could over torque these. All right, next. Turn this, make sure the bolt extends nice and smoothly. Also, I'd recommend testing it while the door is closed as well. Once that's done, leave it extended again. And I hope you did a way better job of cutting this out than I did. Don't look at it. Just don't look at it. All right, so real quick, there is this sensor right here. It starts out installed on this side. Depending on what side you need your door to open, you might have to switch it around like this. You want to stuff this up here, make sure all this clears, and then it'll go out like this. So the sensor will sit, well, right about here. There's actually a spot, there's a little nook down here that it'll fit into. It just goes right there. Note that when the door is shut, it has to be about 3/4 of an inch away from, where the heck is it? There's another half to this. But it needs to be about 3/4 of an inch. Don't worry, I'll be showing you that in a bit. But other than that, well, looking right here, I'm gonna plug this guy in. Come on. Ugh, hard to do on camera. There we go. Kind of look for that. There we go. If you ever have to remove it, just remember there's a snap up there. I can't really see what I'm recording, so I'm not 100% sure you're getting great video here. And then this guy right here. Tighten him up. Make sure nothing's pinching, because that matters. Here we go. And there and there. And then that'll go there. Now hold on, I'm going to go correct this, make sure everything's actually clear. 2 screw holes here. and here. Tighten this up and hold it in place. Keep testing. Looks good. Door has to be open for this step. Lock extended. First 3 batteries are to be put in now. Notice how I haven't done this yet. So that sensor's still not installed. Alright, now I'm going to press and hold the program button. Here, let's see if you can see a little bit more. And I'm going to put in the 4th battery. Hear it? And looks like it's already sensed its position. If something's wrong, it will keep trying to do that. Alright, I've got all 8 batteries in. Now I'm going to put the cover on. Oop, wait. Where? Got it. There's also a screw on the top here. I'm not going to do that yet because I might need to do some adjusting. I'll close this, shut it, test this a couple times, and I should be able to lock it from the outside. Let's see. All right, pre-flight check. With the door unlocked, pass your hand over the sensor. Should lock. Try this from outside as well with the actual door shut. But remember to bring your key. All right, next I'm going to install this door sensor. It's gonna hang out a little bit more for me, but I need it to make it all the way across. That said, if you don't like that, you can clip this. They even recommend it. Don't clip the line. Just, clip this guy. It does have double-sided tape on it. So, of course, what I need to do is clean this surface to make sure that this will stick okay. There we go. Not sure if you can see it, but there's 2 arrows, and those arrows must be lined up to each other. Note, if you're having like a mega problem with this and you don't really want this door sensor feature, you don't have to have it. They actually do provide that you don't necessarily have to have this installed. Just so you know. Next step would be installing the strike plate. I already have one in place that I'm going to keep, so not worried about that, but just note this is where you do it. And remember, always test this. Don't forget to tighten down this top screw. You might regret it later. Now that the lock's installed, I need to install this base station here. Take my Ethernet cable, plug it in right there. Other side of this will plug probably, in most cases, into your Wi-Fi device. It'll have like 4 of these ports on the back of it. In my case, I've got a switch up here, so I'll be using that. The Lockly must be located within 100 feet of this device for it to work. So fair warning. Okay, I just plugged this cable. This is the power cable into here. The other end of the power cable goes into this little Lockly adapter. As you can see, it's just a regular USB adapter. Pretty standard stuff if you ever have a problem with it. You'll be able to replace this really fast. So, all right, I'm gonna plug this in to the power, this in to my Ethernet port. Once you install your base station, the next thing you'll do is download the Lockly app and configure it. It's really easy. It walks you through. I've already done it, so I can't really show you it here, but you will want to have your card nearby because you'll be required to scan it. Also note that you'll have to sign up for an account. All right, so what we're looking at right now is the nerve center of your interactions with Lockly. The Lockly app, it has a pretty easy to use interface. You see that big blue dot in the center? That is the lock and unlock. So I can just press this and it will unlock the door. Press it again, it will lock it. That's useful if you have visitors and you want to let them in. So pretty darn nice. Okay, on the top, there's a bell right here. And if you look at that bell, those are the alerts. So you can tell if your door has been unlocked, remote locked. It also will say if there's any malfunctions. Like right there, I had a problem with the auto lock function because I had the door about half open. So pretty cool. Let me go back. And I'm going to hit the log here real quick. Okay, so this is a more detailed log, and that's down at the bottom. It's that little, it's a little clock. And looking through here, you can get a little bit more detail on those alerts. And you can also see videos if you recorded them. There's me causing trouble. Now let's go back and back to control here. One thing I noticed is every once in a while I'll have a connection issue when I'm here, like in my house. That doesn't seem to happen when I'm outside of it, so I don't know what's going on with that, but every once in a while I'll have to refresh the app. But it's been pretty reliable, and it's a lot better than well, any of the other apps I've used for locks, which are often just kind of painful. All right, so up above the locking mechanism, you can see there's the eyeball, the Eye of Sauron, and I'm going to hit that and hold on just a second. There we go. All right, that's the view from my lock right this second. If I would like to, I can record what's going on right now by hitting that record button. I can also extend. It does have a timer on it to make sure you're not just leaving it on all day. The other thing is there's that lock. It's the second from the left. I can lock and unlock the door from here. So say I'm talking to somebody. I want to let them in. I can hit the lock. This is the same interface that shows up if somebody rings the doorbell. What you can do is the app will actually start ringing and you can answer it right here. It will come right to the screen and you can talk to them by hitting that picture of a microphone. And now I'm actually talking outside right this second. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to bug the birds. And then I could unlock, let them in if I wanted to. Or I guess I could call the cops. I don't know. And now I'm going to hang up. Pro tip, if you'd like to view things in high definition, in other words 720, you can slide to the right and select HD. Fair warning though, you will burn more battery when you're doing this. Alright, just a couple more things I wanted to show you on the Lockly app before we wrap things up. On the bottom right hand side of the app is the settings gear right here, and it is useful because you have more granular control over the Lockly itself. Couple important settings that I messed with a bit was the auto lock timer right here that's set by default 30 seconds. You can change how many seconds it waits before after you shut the door it will lock. That's great because say you do shopping with your significant other and maybe they're trailing behind you, or you have friends coming over and they're just following you in the door. You come in first and the door locks like 5 seconds after you get in. You can adjust that here so you got maybe 30 seconds or a minute or what have you. So pretty darn useful thing. And then the other one I thought was pretty darn useful is, where is it? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, touchscreen locking. That was the other one I wanted to show you. Okay, so touchscreen locking. If you go to leave, you unlock your deadbolt, open the door, shut the door. If your hand passes over the Lockly keypad, it will automatically lock the door. That way you can automatically lock it and you don't have to worry about it, which is a cool feature. But my wife found that she would pass her hand over accidentally when closing the door, so it would end up being locked when the door was open. So to take care of that, you can actually use this door locked after pressing button, and it displays that little button on the screen. And if you've got that feature enabled, then you specifically have to hit that button to lock the door. So it makes it a little bit easier to deal with if the passing your hand over it bothers you. All right, one last thing I want to show you is how to add new users to your Lockly. Down at the bottom, there's this access button here. And this is where you add new users. Okay, if you had an earlier lock like I did, basically what happened is you had a number of codes you were allowed to give out, but there was really no way to track who owned what code. In fact, our whole house logged in with the exact same code, which you can understand is, not not a perfect way to handle things. So this is the screen where you can add new users, and you can add them via an access code. So if I wanted to add a new trusted user, I can add a new trusted user. That would be like somebody who lives in your house. You can add a new guest, and you can set a time period for that. And then you can also set a one-time access code. So that way what they'd have to do is enter a PIN. The PINs start at 6 digits. I'm used to them starting at 4, but they start at 6 digits, just so you know. So I could just add a new user here, give them a code, and hand it out to them. That's about the easiest way to add a new user. The next thing you have is an e-badge. You can create an e-badge, and basically you're sending them an invite. They will need the Lockly app, and then they can go into, I gotta go back here, right here. They'll go here, say they received an invitation, and they'll be able to use that code to remote open your door for a little bit. So that's pretty useful as well, and nice little feature. I don't know how much I'd be using it, maybe with a contractor or something, but if you're in real estate or something like that, really useful. All right, let's go back to access because there's more. All right, offline access codes. What are offline access codes? Well, why go through explaining it myself when the app itself has an explanation? Boy, I like that. The offline access code is generated with a set of encrypted numbers which you can share with your guests via SMS, email, or verbally. Unlike e-keys, offline access codes will not require the guest to download an app to gain access to your lock. You'll be able to customize the duration of the offline access code. There you go. That's how it works, and it automatically expires after its set duration period. It's a very flexible system. I like it. All right, how about the fingerprint system? It is my favorite part of this system because it is so cool. Basically what you do is you assign a user. You can see my users are right here. Add a new fingerprint. And you will need to be near the lock to do this. And what it will do is allow you to start recording your fingerprint. You'll basically tap the fingerprint reader several times with your index finger. And then when it's done, it basically has a little counter on the screen. When it's done, give it a name, add the user, and boom, they have access. By the way, you can do it multiple times for the same user, and it will then get better and better at reading your fingerprints. I did mine twice, and it's awesome. It never really misses. Once the Lockly app is installed, you'll get little pop-ups like this telling you if your door's been opened. Pretty darn useful. All right, here's the Lockly at night. Sorry it's so loud out. It's near the holidays, but anyway, I'm gonna hit this real quick. Light up, there we go. Light up, I can enter a code. They're grouped together, so it's harder to determine what your password actually is. What people could do is determine by wear and the oil on your fingers, what numbers were being punched. So by grouping them like this, you can't really determine that. Down here's the doorbell right here. If I want to unlock it with a key, I flip it open. Oops, sorry. With a key, I flip it open. And then right here on the side is the fingerprint reader. And up here you can see the camera. And there we go. Opened up with the fingerprint reader. Pretty cool. One really neat feature is the doorbell feature, which I'm going to demonstrate now. Oh, I've got a visitor. Rob here. I've come to steal all your stuff. I'm not letting this guy in. He looks shady. Once Lockly is synced with Alexa, you can use voice commands to control it. So, Alexa, is the front door open?
Checking. Hang on. The front door is locked.
There we go. I can also lock the front door. By default, I cannot unlock the front door with Alexa because that is a security risk, but you can force Alexa to be able to do it. Just so you know.
Warning, radiation at unsafe levels.
And that about wraps it up for Lockly. I've used a number of smart locks both professionally and at home over the years, and the Lockly is by far the easiest to set up as well as the most feature rich of them. Oh, it's so much easier to set up. But anyway, no, they're not the least expensive of the internet enabled locks, but the prices aren't outrageous, and the time you save on setup and use may well be worth it to you. I want to thank you very much for watching this video. If you found it useful or enjoyed it, please do me a big favor, give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more, ring that bell, and I'll see you in a couple days. Bye!